OK, now let's talk a little bit about whether block ciphers are in CPA secure. So we've gone through a proof that shows that they behave like random permutations. The proof did not show that block ciphers are secure under our model with Eve and Mallory. It just showed that block ciphers behave like random permutations. In other words, the arrows were dropped in totally different places. But we actually haven't shown you if they're secure yet, so let's do that next. So to do it, you can read this text if you want to, but I think it's actually more fun if we play the IND-CPA game together. So let's give it a try. If I can pull up a blank slide. Going a little bit off script here, but it's OK. All right, so we're going to play the IND-CPA game together. And when we play this game, I will be Alice. So I'm running the scheme, and I want it to be secure. And you're going to play Eve. You're going to try to break my scheme. So I'm going to use a block cipher with a secret key that you don't know. In other words, if you go back to the block ciphers, and I realize I'm going a little bit far off script here. If you go back to the picture on block ciphers, there were all these different arrows and permutations. I have chosen one. There are 2 to the k different permutations out there. 2 to the 128, that's a gigantic number. You could never list them all out. I have narrowed it down to choose just one. So my code for the block cipher, my Reindel AES code, is going to take one of these. For any input that I give, it's going to find the corresponding arrow and spit out the output. But you don't know what the arrows are. From your perspective, they basically might as well be random because of this little proof that we showed. So I have a key. You don't know it. And I'm going to use the key to apply my block cipher. And I know all the arrows showing which inputs map to which outputs, but you don't. But you're going to try to break my scheme. So let's give it a try. So I'm going to skip this first step. You can actually use it if you want to. It turns out you can win without this. So I'm not going to let you use this step, although in theory you could if you wanted to. I'm going to make you start here. So you need to start the challenge right now. Tell me 2 words of equal length that you want to see encrypted. You want to do dog and cat again. OK, let's do it. So your 2 words are dog and cat. So we'll say m0 equals dog and m1 equals cat. You don't know which one I'm going to encrypt. So I'm now going to turn around. You can't see me. I'm going to go into my block cipher. I'm going to run the AES code. It's going to tell me, for whichever one I've chosen, if I follow the arrow, what is the corresponding 3-letter output? You don't know which one I chose. So now the encryption of k, using k, which you don't know, from my random message, which is dog or cat, but you don't know which one, OK, it's this. OK, you have no idea which one I encrypted, do you? So now let's move on to the next step. You now have the power, because you're Eve and we're doing a chosen plaintext attack model, you now have the power to ask me to encrypt anything you want. You can ask me to encrypt anything in the world, and I will faithfully use the key to encrypt it and return it to you. So what would you like to encrypt using your newfound power in this step? Anything you want. You want to encrypt dog. Are you sure? You don't want to change your mind? You don't want to encrypt horse? You don't want to encrypt donkey? You want to encrypt dog? OK, I guess I'll encrypt dog for you. So I turn around. You can't see me. I faithfully use the key to follow the arrow for dog, because that's what you asked me to encrypt. OK, here's what the encryption of dog is, because you asked me. So the encryption of k of the message dog is that. Are you satisfied, or do you want me to encrypt more? You want to encrypt cat? Are you sure? You don't want to encrypt elephant or something? OK, I'll encrypt cat for you. So I turn around. You can't see the key. And I follow the arrow using the code that's written. And the encryption of k, comma, cat is that. Now are you satisfied, or do you want me to encrypt more? Or are you ready to make a guess? I think you're ready to make a guess. So here we go. You have to tell me whether or not this mysterious message, which was either dog or cat, was dog or cat. So you got to tell me, was this 0, which means dog, or 1, which means cat? Who thinks dog? Who thinks cat? All right, so 100% of you think it's cat. So this is 1, which is cat. And turns out you're right, it was cat. So you have broken my scheme. because you won with 100% probability. And if we did this over and over again with lots of different words, you would have won every single time. So you're Eve, and you can declare victory because you won this every single time. So that means that block ciphers themselves are actually not IND-CPA secure. They do behave like random permutations. You couldn't tell what arrows I was using, but they're not IND-CPA secure under the model of chosen plaintext attack. That's what all these words say, but we played it with a game to hopefully make it a little bit more intuitive, which you won. And thankfully you won, otherwise it would have been very bad if you lost. But you did win, and you won with probability at 100%. And what that tells us is that block ciphers are not IND-CPA secure because you, the attacker, emerged victorious. And in fact, we showed something even more general, which is that all schemes that are deterministic, which means that if you encrypt something twice, you get the same output twice, are not IND-CPA secure because you can play the same trick that you just did. So if there's ever a scheme that you come up with, but it's deterministic, which means that encrypting the same thing twice results in the same output, it's always not IND-CPA secure because of the exact same trick that we just played. And that's actually a good thing. You might wonder, why are we giving Eve this power to re-encrypt dog and cat? That's good, because if we have a scheme that's deterministic, if someone encrypts something twice, we could tell that they're encrypting something twice, and that's bad. So it's good that deterministic schemes fail this game, because we don't want to let deterministic schemes be considered secure. Kind of a digression, because it's more general, but the thing you should know is that block ciphers, the code that generates a permutation that I then secretly use, is not IND-CPA secure because it is deterministic.